What is up, my people? It is Wednesday night. Typically, Wednesday night is a film session night for the Patreon people only. But with Sunday being a film session night, we did a little Jalen Carter private show for the Patreon people. And Monday's show being the public show with Davin Bellamy, I figured we'd do MBR tonight on a Wednesday night for everybody. And for the first time in a long time, we are streaming publicly to Twitter. I prefer that you absorb our content through the YouTube channel, but that's okay. Sometimes conveniency tends to lead itself to more of a positive customer review. So the conveniency for you folks over there on Twitter is available tonight. It won't be available moving forward. Spoiler alert, there is no Ditko tonight. My world famous, world acclaimed producer, not here tonight. So you're seeing we're using, some older technology. I got the live cam up over here. We're not using the big camera. We don't have the big fancy setup going on behind us. Nothing. There will be no cool animations going on throughout all this. Nothing. So this will be it tonight for us. And it seems like we may or may not already have some technical difficulties, which I'm hoping we don't. I see a refresher stream hasn't started yet over here on YouTube. So I hope that's up. I'm going to move forward as if that's up. Looks like we're dropping in viewers. So I don't know what's going on. We call Justin. Give me 1 second, guys. See, it's because I mentioned the name Ditko. As soon as I mentioned the name Ditko, we had things go wrong. Give me 1 second, guys. Oh, it's for the viewers, not me. Justin, don't be so cryptic with your daggum messages in the YouTube comments. Anyways, got a loaded show for you guys tonight. We got a preview for this upcoming G-Day game on Saturday. And of course, we will open up for the first time in a long time with live Q&A. And we will be basically taking almost strictly YouTube audience questions. So feel free to hop over on there. As always, super subscribers get first priority, but that will be the end of the show. So hold your questions, please, until the very end. So on tonight's show, like I said, we will be previewing G-Day. I'm a little rattled now because I thought we were having technical difficulties off the jump, but that's okay. Got a preview for G-Day, what to expect from Saturday's scrimmage. I know there's a lot of questions about, hey, how's it going to be formatted? What's going on? Heck, some people don't even know where to watch it. So we will answer all of those questions. I've got some bold predictions coming your way because why not? Who doesn't love bold predictions? And of course, I'll give you some important position battles, some key battles to be watching, some places where your eyes and your attention need to be drawn on Saturday, just kind of to know what's going to happen this fall and where Georgia's going to have their strengths and their weaknesses. We will talk about that in terms of position battles. And of course, we will talk about some basic storylines that we're going to be paying close attention to. There's a lot of them moving into G-Day. There's a lot of things we need to be paying attention to storyline-wise, especially in that quarterback room. We will address those. But we're going to open our show tonight with ESPN's FPI Power Rankings that were released this week. First question I'll get, Brooks, what the heck is a football power index, and why is it hell-bent on ticking Georgia fans off? If you missed it, Georgia was ranked 7th on the FPI index and was projected to have 3 losses. We'll talk a little bit about it here in just a second. But a little bit of refresher for those who don't know what a football power index is. Let me do some reading for the folks at home. The football power index, or the FPI, is a measure of team strength that is not meant to be that is meant to be the best predictor of a team's performance going forward for the rest of the season. FPI represents how many points above or below average a team is. Projected results are based on 20,000 simulations of the rest of the season using FPI, results to date, and the remaining schedule. Ratings and projections updated daily. Now, obviously, Georgia hasn't played any games this season. No one's played games this season. This is a preseason football power index rating. So essentially, I tell you that to tell you basically what the FPI has done is they've ran 20,000 simulations, of which Georgia finishes with a 9.5 and 3.2 record, meaning of those 20,000 simulations, their average total number of victories is exactly 9.5, and their average total of losses is 3.2 over those 20,000 simulations, okay? Everybody got it? Everybody understands what FPI is. Good. Now we've all got it explained. Now, here's my problem. Great. Huge data guy, right? Psych. I'm the film guy. That doesn't say the data guy. It says the film guy. I am a quintessential old school model, old head when it comes to these types of data points. Not here for, I like advanced analytics. I like advanced stats when they're applicable and when they confirm or make me reassess what I see on tape. I'm not really here for whatever this stuff is, running projection modules over on, simulations essentially with a computer that doesn't really have the ability to assess what's actually happening on these rosters and how they're turning over. Okay, so here's my problem, and I hope you're ready for this. In 20,000 simulations of next year's season for Georgia, I don't ever, and I mean ever, in 20,000 simulations, I don't ever see them losing to UAB. I don't ever see them losing to Charleston Southern. I don't ever see them losing to Georgia Tech. I don't ever see them losing to Vandy, especially not after what happened last year. And considering the situation, I don't see them losing to Tennessee with what's going on up there. That category of 5 football teams on that 12 team schedule, we'll put them in all of a category of FCS/dumpster fire, right? I mean, Charleston Southern, UAB, FCS programs, Tech, Vandy, Tennessee, all in their own, versions of a rebuild. Tech probably a little further ahead than the rest of them. And Tech still was 2-8 last year in an all ACC schedule. So those teams, 20,000 simulations, Georgia won't ever lose to them. I'm sorry. They most likely will not, barring some type of catastrophic injury or string of injuries on that roster. So those 5 out. None of those 3 losses that the FBI is accounting for in their 20,000 simulations aren't there. So there's no losses there, most likely in a realistic world, not a computer simulation world, right? Then there's the group of football teams that I would consider they might give you a battle, or they might give you a run for your money type of football teams. Those are Auburn, South Carolina, Arkansas, and Missouri. Those are teams on the roster that have historically given Georgia a run for their money occasionally, right? It's 2019 with South Carolina. It's 2017, the first time they played Auburn out there, right? These programs historically, first half last year against Arkansas, these are programs historically that will occasionally push Georgia, but rarely do they beat them, except for Auburn. And, honestly, for that matter, considering the situation that they're in, considering the quarterback situation that they're in, considering the loss of Tony Pitts and even more receivers out there, Trayvon Grimes, considering all that they've lost, I would venture to say Florida is put into this category or slightly above this category and behind the next category in which Clemson rests in, right? I think moving into next year, Georgia will be favored heavily against UAB, heavily against Charleston Southern, heavily against Georgia Tech, Vandy, and Tennessee. They will be at least 2 touchdown favorites against Auburn, against South Carolina, against Arkansas, against Missouri. And I would presume come week 6, week 7, depending upon what's happening in that Florida quarterback room, they could be 2-score favorites going into that game in Jacksonville. Now, I know that game's always historically much closer than 2 touchdowns, but they're going to be a favorite to win over Florida, right? So let's just talk about the Clemson game. Let's just make it a loss. Let's make Clemson, the opening game against Clemson, a loss for Georgia. Find 2 other losses for me on the schedule. I mean, it's very, very – you're banking on an upset for the second one. You're telling me Kirby Smart and Georgia are going to get shocked twice in a season? I don't see it happening. I don't, for the life of me, cannot find in one simulation, not 20,000, in one simulation, I cannot find 3 losses on Georgia's schedule. It makes no sense to me. So you're telling me that, you're guaranteeing that they're going to lose to Clemson in almost all 20,000 simulations that you ran. And one of Auburn, South Carolina, Arkansas, Missouri, and Florida, well, actually 2 of them are going to beat Georgia. I don't see that happening next year. And again, I'm not like Mr. Analytics, but I'm not Mr. Only grind the tape guy. I'm here for advanced analytics. I'm here for simulations. I'm here for all this fun stuff. But I'm here for it until you bring me unrealistic data points like Georgia's projected to lose 3.2 games over a 20,000 simulation sample. It's asinine. Your numbers or whatever you're crunching in those data points is completely wrong, because no realistic human being can look at this schedule and say, 3 losses on average over 20,000 iterations of that schedule. Makes no sense to me. What also doesn't make sense to me is Mississippi State coming in 8th on that list. Okay, if you go look at that FPI rankings, I get it. I get it. Mike Leach is cool. Mike Leach finished the season relatively strong last year, despite how many guys left his roster. They fought and scratched and clawed till the end of the season. That's all good. It's Mississippi State, guys. I mean, do I really need to go any further than that right there? How about this comment right here? Love this one. Ethan, I'm checking you guys out. I have gladly become a Patreon member for this exact kind of rant. I mean, that's facts. If you guys are in that Patreon or in that Discord, you will know that every once in a while we get a little hectic in the rants. And I'm a rants guy. It's why this show typically, when we do a format like this, is called MBR, standing for nothing but rants. It's why we do what we do. I enjoy doing this. It's probably one of my favorite show. I mean, I love grinding tape. I love being a film guy and all that good stuff. It is my brand. It's what I do probably better than anybody else, especially in the Georgia space. I don't know about anybody else or outside of the Georgia space. I don't really watch anybody else, but that's what I'm best at. This is what I enjoy doing most. Shocking, right? If you've ever known me, if you've ever met me in person, if you've known me for a long time, you will know that I love to hear myself talk. You don't have to know me to know that. If you've passed by any of my shows, you notice that I don't have a co-host. There's no constant Zoom being hosted where I'm bringing guests in. It's nothing. It's me, a microphone, the camera, and you clowns in the comment section. You're not clowns. I appreciate you for being here, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, but speaking of loving hearing myself talk, Saturday, I'm going to be doing a lot of it, guys. I'm planning. You guys know that if you've been on the Patreon platform for a year or so now, you know that last year we did watch-along parties only for the OGs over there on the Patreon site where, you guys just get to hang out with me and watch the football game. Well, this year we're doing it on a whole nother level. This massive studio, it's not really that massive. This studio that I built in my house was specifically built for what I'm trying to do on game days with you guys. The board that I purchased and to draw plays on and to dissect film and to break things down, the reason I purchased it was for game days for you guys. That game day watch party, I promise you, will be better than any watch-along experience you can find. I'm not arrogant in saying that. I'm confident in saying that. We're not just going to be sitting on the couch or sitting on my couch like I was last year and just going, oh, great play. Georgia just scored. They're up 21-7. That's not what it's going to be, okay? It's going to be Georgia just scored 21-7. Here's why, straight to the board with Brooks. I'll show you exactly what's happening. We're going to do a lot of that on Saturday. I'm going to work on a co-host for this fall, but this Saturday, it's going to be me, and it's going to be, for the most part, the Discord family. So if you want to be a part of our game day, live stream that's going to be public for everybody, then hop on the Patreon service, hop on the Discord. We will get you tuned in. We will get you updated with how that process works, and we'll get you on. We'll get you some limelight. We'll show you some love via airtime, which is, it's not much, but it's fun. If you've ever been on air, it's fun. And I want to give other people that opportunity to be creative and come out here and have a good time. I think some of our most creative juice, if you will, in terms of a platform comes from that Discord service. I'm serious. Some of the best, not only tweets that I have, we've got a guy in the Discord service. He was originally going by Donsari. Now he goes by check here for stolen memes because I steal his content out of Discord and take it to Twitter. Not ashamed to tell you. Okay. And every single time it goes viral. A lot of the talks that we have on these shows, a lot of the content that we have on our Patreon service and on our YouTube channel comes from that Discord service because we are a community-driven platform. I had that Patreon service, and I know we're way off topic here, but I had that Patreon service originally named something like Brooks is Creating Film Studies. And I failed to realize I wasn't creating film studies. I was creating a football community. I was creating a community of really good people, really wholesome people that love talking about football and just discussing in general. By the way, speaking of discussing, hey, as score updates go, hit those into the comment section of that Braves game so I can just kind of follow along. I've been trying this year my hardest to dedicate myself to becoming a fan of the Atlanta Braves. And this year, 162, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try to catch every single inning I possibly can. So please give me the updates there. But enough of what we're doing Saturday. It will be live Saturday on a live stream starting at about 1:45. I'll carry it through the rest of G-Day. Dicko will be back there handling the ones and twos. My boy Cam Brady, aka Robert Crosby, will be handling all of our live updates on SI.com. So yeah, and Rudy, I don't do a good enough job of selling this portion of it, guys. I drop intel nuggets of information. We call them nugs over there on the Patreon site. I don't know what everybody else does in terms of their subscription services. I don't know what kind of intel that they provide. But from what my customers tell me, I'm on par, if not above, in terms of intel, the speed in which it comes, than everybody else. I'm never going to be first on injuries, not because I don't know them first, but just because I don't want to be first, unless I'm cleared and told to be first. It's not my bag. It's not what I'm here for. So if you want any other portions of intel, come hang out with me. Who's impressing at practice, what's going on schematically, what the rotation is going to be offensive and defensive line wise, things like that, all that good stuff. Come hang out with the Patreon stuff. We will get you there. We got some no doubts over here. Yeah, all good stuff. Don't do it, Brooks. You'll only live heartbroken. Atlanta will let you down. Hey, if you know anything about my history in terms of an athletic career, you know that I'm accustomed to losing. It's okay. Losing ain't my problem. Heartbreak in terms of athletics ain't my problem. I'm going to be all right. All right, let's get into this spring preview before we get into some Q&A. I got a lot of topics that I want to hit, as I'm sure you would imagine, knowing me by now. But G-Day is here. It is finally here, ladies and gentlemen, at least almost. We got one more practice to get through on Thursday, injury-free, hopefully, and then we will get hella active on Saturday for this G-Day. And honestly, it's not only our first public viewing of this Georgia football team for 2021, but it's going to be our last until September 4th. Until Georgia tees it up against Clemson, you will not see a public viewing of this football team. With the way in which Kirby Smart runs this program, and before I get any further, I want you to know that I would run my program the same exact way. And the way he controls the narrative, right? The way he runs his program and the way he controls the narrative, apart from a few 45-second mashup videos of Jordan Davis running dog jacks and doing a little hitting and whatever, and some flash cut-ups of everybody at practice. Apart from those 45 seconds that you're going to get during, camp this fall, this is it. This is the only evaluation point you have until September 4th. And I'm going to grind it, and I'm going to watch it as such. This summer, I promise you, we might, over on the Patreon site, watch portions of the spring game for majority of the offseason, because it's all we've got. It's literally all we've got in terms of the latest evaluation point of what's going on this football team. I'm going to watch it like a hawk, and as are you guys. We got some more love from the comments section. Appreciate you, Colby. Brooks is the best in the business and bringing out Georgia football. I hear talking. I wouldn't say I'm taking their lunch money. Everybody does a good job on this beat. Always ahead of the pack. Appreciate you. I watch Dogs Daily just to confirm what's going on in the Discord. That's funny, even though he forgot. I'm Dogs Daily. I run Dogs Daily. The other one is called something different, but I got your joke. I appreciate you. Damien Cox wanted to know who you'll be thinking. Hey, we'll get to Q&A in just a second. Rob, a.k.a. Cam, we'll get to it in just a second, except for this one. We'll hit this one right here. Ryan Mel with the super sub, $10. Give someone a free month for me, Brooks. Well, there you have it. If you're watching the show right now, this is again, what I love about our community that we're building over on Patreon. This is Ryan going out of his way to say, hey, look, supply this to someone else. If you ever notice, we don't do the 50% off subscription models. We don't do the, hey, join now for $1, because Patreon doesn't allow us that type of flexibility. So what I told my Discord family that, and I told the Patreon family that, and you know what they said? Well, here's the deal. Set up, some type of Venmo, set up some type of YouTube super sub package, whatever. We will put together a donation pool for free memberships. So as you're watching tonight, Ryan has given one of those free memberships. So if you're one of the, several hundred people, I'm just kidding. If you're one of the people watching tonight and you've been flirting around with the idea of joining the Patreon, but hey, maybe money's a little tight, whatever the situation is, hit me up either in the comments on this YouTube, channel, or hit me up on Twitter at Brooks Austin SI. The DMs are open, so feel free to hop in there. First come, first serve. But we do have a couple of them, so just hop in there. We'll probably take 2 or 3 tonight. And as super subs fall in, if we get some more people saying give someone a donation, we will give out more as the night goes on. So appreciate you, Ryan, and whoever's the new addition to the family. Welcome. All right, where are we at? So again, last viewing point or last evaluation point you're going to get on this football team until they go up to North Carolina to play Clemson. So enjoy it, and have a good time Saturday. And if you could, come drop by the watch along. Come drop by the live stream. Again, we're gonna have some good content for you guys over there. So what should you expect going into Saturday as a Georgia football fan or just as an SEC football fan in general? If you're passing by Georgia's G-Day game on Saturday, what should you expect? Well, I'll tell you right now, based off my, intel of what it looks like and what people are telling me it's going to look like, plus a little bit of my own background and history as far as what spring games look like and what they end up moving along like, because after all, I have played, some college football. I did go through 4 spring practices. Got another one from Ethan Manos. Appreciate you, Ethan. Y'all hit me up. I now have 2 free subs. So giving them out. I mean, it's buy one, get one right now. Actually, you ain't even got to buy one. It's get one, get one. Oh, we're flooding some more. More Colby. Appreciate you, brother. Here's another month. I'm telling you guys, it's like hotcakes. So we got them all over the place. Appreciate you guys. Ryan, Ethan, Colby. Y'all are the real OGs. Y'all hit me up in Discord after this. We got to talk. I gotta know if you're coming to our barbecue this summer over at Dan's house. If you are, free merch coming your way for your generosity. I appreciate you guys. Man, that's some good stuff. Hey, this is a good point, though, from Robert. Just don't come into that Discord with thin skin, okay? You will get razzled, but it'll be fun, okay? Even me, I get razzled in there. They let me have it. I'm probably the butt of most jokes in there. So back to the show. Appreciate you guys, man. That's some serious love right there from the OG community for new members of our OG community. So if you're one of those people, hop in, find me on Twitter. We'll get you taken care of. Actually, I won't get you taken care of. Discord family will get you taken care of. All right, what we should expect. Again, this is a combination of what I know coming out of camp, what I know coming from sources about what's going on, and a little bit of projection based off what I know about college football. So here we go. Despite how Georgia is banged up this spring, I fully expect them to take somewhere around 55 to 70 total snaps on Saturday. Again, according to the sources that I spoke to. You're going to have quarterbacks obviously in black non-contact jerseys. Everything else presumably will be full speed, at least for the majority of practice. They might start with some thud and then, wind up all the way up to full speed. Now, if it were me as a head football coach, especially in the SEC, with how many big bodies there are, how, strong, powerful, whatever athletic guys are, and how brittle sometimes their ligaments could be, I want to warm up into the process of a full scrimmage. So in other words, can't figure out how to make it a $10 flat. Appreciate you, brother. We'll leave that one up as we go through this comment. Appreciate you, Joseph, for real. But no, I would kind of warm them up, right? And what I mean by that is we're going to get into individual period. We're going to go over there. Offensive line going to work through their steps. Quarterback's going to get their arms hot. Wide receivers going to go run some routes on air, work on their releases at the line of scrimmage. Corners going to work on trailing, turning, bailing, doing all that good stuff, right? Doing your individual period with your coach, getting your body nice and warmed up. Then we're going to progress into one-on-ones, right? Get some competition period between wide receivers, DBs, quarterbacks, get an opportunity to see some live looks. We're going to go over offense, defense line, do some one-on-ones as well. Running backs, linebackers doing one-on-ones in space, allowing them to move, get coverage, maybe thud up a little bit, get some contact in their body, let their body get accustomed to what's about to go down. After that, I would move slowly into some half-line drills, right? What are half-line drills? What does it sound like? Center over to left tackle. We'll run 3 over 3 or 3 over 2 or 2 over 3 wide receiver DB wise. You follow me? So I have some wide receivers out there, a whole set, right? 3 wide receivers over 3 DBs. Y'all run some routes, quarterback throw some balls, defense stop them from completing. Half line, basically. Then from there, we'll go into 7-on-7, maybe some inside run. And then after that, after about 45 minutes to 50 minutes to an hour of warming our bodies up, getting ready for physical contact in the SEC, we will move into a full live scrimmage. I would run it like that. The way Georgia might run it tomorrow, they might run it like a full live game, which is you'll come out, you'll do team stretch, you'll do some you'll do quarterback center exchange with the quarterbacks and centers. They'll be over there snapping, do some routes on air. A defense will come out. You will do a team stretch together. Then you will do separate individual periods with your coaches. And then from that point, you'll do some thudding, right? Some light popping, and then you'll just get ready to go play a football game. That's probably how it will work Saturday, according to the people that I've talked to. they've said these scrimmage periods and these Saturday practices have been almost exclusively scrimmage. So they'll get loose, they'll get their bodies hot, and then they'll get after it, and they'll get to playing some football. So that'll be fun to watch on Saturday, just kind of telling you what it's going to look like. You'll also have about 25 to 30,000 fans in the stands for what will hopefully be our final event inside Sanford Stadium. Excuse me. That's a good way to get your mentions popped up. Appreciate you, Jamal. That's my guy right there. Appreciate your love on the super sub right there. But hopefully our last event before they open up Sanford Stadium for good and have about 93,000 barking adults in there. Woof, woof, woof. Can you tell how passive aggressive my barking was? Never been a barker. Never understood that. Maybe y'all can make fun of me. Y'all can get mad at me. Never understood the whole idea of adults barking. I get it. Y'all the dogs. I get it. I sound like the newbie and the guy that's hating on tradition. I understand. I'm just telling you, the idea of barking, never really got it. So maybe y'all could explain that one to me. But come this fall, 93,000 barking dogs up in the stadium. So hopefully that is what's up from our favorite producer, Dicko. Hope you're enjoying your night off. As you can see, I don't know, guys. What do y'all think? What do y'all think about production skills without Dicko? I mean, we got comments popping up. We got hella super subs coming in, man. Dicko, bro. Better watch out, dog. No, I'm just kidding. Get back when you get back, bro. We'll see you. I guess we'll see you Saturday, right, Dicko? We'll see you Saturday, Dicko. Appreciate you. All right. Now, spring position battles. There's a lot of them. We're going to talk about just a few of them. You would think we're going to start with corner. Wrong. We're going to start with tackle because I've got a theory that I've cultivated about the tackle position, specifically the left tackle position, and I felt like I should bring it to you tonight before we answer Q&As because I know this question is going to get brought up. So here we go. Look, Georgia has one tackle. As far as I know, they have one tackle that they know and feel confident in heading into this spring game. That's Warren Mcclendon. He's playing right tackle. And who is playing the other tackle? We don't know. We don't know who's going to win that other tackle spot. You got to play two of them. And one of them, the guy that was playing there last year, has moved to guard because, well, A, Jamari Sawyer is a guard. B, he needs to be a guard. C, the NFL wants to see him play guard. So that's why he's not bumping out. I don't think he's going to bump back out. I wouldn't bump him back out. He came back to play guard. Let him play guard. But I have a theory as to why Warren Mcclendon has not been moved to the left side. And that's the question I get. I get asked all the time from Georgia fans. Brooks, if Warren Mcclendon is the only for sure thing, then why isn't he playing left tackle? And I'll give you an answer. I call it the amphibian theory. Here's what it is. I've clamored over and over again. I've been asking for Georgia to move Warren Mcclendon to the left side of the offensive line, because I think that's what he's best at. I think that's where he's going to project at. I don't like his run strength at the point of the attack in the run game, which means you're probably not going to be a right tackle, not on the NFL level. You got to be able to really move guys off the ball. It's not his strength. His strength is pass setting. Sounds like a left tackle. But in an ideal world, right, you got two tackle spots. One of those two in an ideal world for Georgia would be Broderick Jones. He would be somewhere in that mix at the start of next season. At some point next season, Broderick Jones and Warren Mcclendon would be your two starting tackles if it were in the best interest of the University of Georgia. He's the supremely talented player, and he's got the potential to be truly special on this football team, especially considering their aspirations to drive the ball down the field. Look, if you've heard anything out of the camp at Georgia, whether it be this spring or last fall, since Broderick Jones has stepped foot on campus, no one wins more one-on-one pass setting reps than Broderick Jones. He is the best pass setting tackle that Georgia has. Just not strong enough at that time when I was hearing these things, last year especially, was not strong enough at the time to be out there playing in an SEC environment. So, it would make sense, like, he's got to play one or the other. If Warren's better, move him over to left, leave Broderick at right. The only problem is I haven't heard of Warren Mcclendon working at left tackle this spring. Maybe he has. Maybe he's swung around a little bit, but every photo I've seen released from the University of Georgia, every piece of intel I've heard from insiders during scrimmage, every piece of conversation I've had with anybody around that program that knows anything says Warren Mcclendon is penciled in at right tackle. So why is he not working at left? And why are they just allowing either Xavier Truss or Broderick Jones to win that job. Well, here's my theory. I think they're leaving left tackle open in hopes that Broderick Jones is ready come August. Because I've already told you the best iteration of this offensive line is with Mcclendon and Jones at tackle. But you can't move Warren Mcclendon over to left tackle and play Broderick Jones at right tackle because of the amphibian theory. Playing left tackle and right tackle is like being able to write with both your left and right hand. Broderick Jones is not amphibious at this moment in his career. He cannot play both left and right tackle. He can only play left tackle. So they're leaving Warren over there in hopes that Broderick will be there come August. That's my theory. It's the only one that makes sense. Your best tackle in terms of your combinations of tackles. If you're going to start Xavier Truss and Warren Mcclendon, Xavier Truss is 6'7", struggles in pass pro, elite in run blocking, screams right tackle. Warren Mcclendon is weak at the point of the attack in the run game, can't push guys off the point, and is elite in pass protection. That screams left tackle, unless you've got a 5-star future first-round draft pick that cannot play right tackle and can only play left tackle as a redshirt freshman this fall. It's the only reason Warren Mcclendon has not been taking a large share of reps at left tackle, in my opinion. The amphibian theory. How about that? All right, my other position of battle position that we're looking for is corner. I told you everyone expected me. I'm sure you expected me to lead with corner tonight. We brought it in second because I think that tackle discussion is vital. And for the life of me, we got somebody that didn't get it. You don't get the show. Anyways, but no, I don't think they think he can play left or right at this point. So they're leaving it open, hoping he can compete and win for it. And if worst case scenario comes August, September, leading up to Clemson, if Broderick Jones is not ready to play left tackle, they'll just kick Warren over at that point. Just like they did last year, spend all summer. Jamari Sawyer working at left tackle, let him play week 1 against Arkansas. They'll probably do the same thing. Flip-flop Truss and Mcclendon, give them all summer to figure it out. If Broderick does not play that well, like really not, he doesn't have to play lights out Saturday at left tackle. He's got to look sustainable. Somebody that we can trust or Georgia staff can trust. They can say to ourselves, we trust this guy going into Clemson based off what they saw in the final appearance during spring practice. All right, corner as well. Huge position battle there. Got to find 2 of them, right? Really got to find 3, but you really got to find 2 starters and hope that you got some quality depth behind, which I think you're going to have no matter what, who your 2 guys are. We know Keelan Ringo is going to be one of them. I want to know whether or not Ringo is as advertised this Saturday. It's literally our first live look at him. If you saw most of his high school stuff out there at Arizona, his running back tape was almost as impressive as even his corner tape. Not a whole lot of high school football teams trying that young man defensively. They weren't throwing at him. Matter of fact, they were staying clear away from him. They weren't running at him. They weren't throwing at him. High school tape, real tough evaluation point. Just know that he's 6'2", 205, and he's a 10-300 runner. Yeah, he's going to be a top-ranked corner in the country just based off that alone. He could have probably never played football and gotten a 3 or 4-star rating just off of that, period. 6'2", 205, corner, 10-3 and 100, 4-star. 4-star, does not matter, period, point blank. He's actually a really good football player by all accounts. 5-star, makes sense? So excited to see what he looks like, but more importantly, I'm excited to see who steps up in that next group of 3. Jalen Kimber, Amir Speed, Nyland Green. Who's going to be the one? Who's going to be the flashy guy? I've got a bold prediction on it later for you, so stick around. We will get to it just shortly. Now, wide receiver is the other position I'm very interested to see what the heck's going to happen with on Saturday, just because there's so much injury and so much lack of depth and experience at this position. I mean, another target down, according to reports. We weren't the first to report this. I'll give credit now. I believe it was UGAsports.com reported first that Justin Robinson has sustained a minor injury. I don't expect him to play Saturday from what I've heard. So even if he does play, he will be very, very limited. So with another target down, the potential of weapons, drastically decreased since the beginning of camp. You've become younger and even thinner. Wide receiver Donnie Mitchell is the first player, obviously, that comes to mind here, considering the remainder of the outside receivers. We're talking the X and the Z receivers at the University of Georgia. They're either injured or they left the program. They are very destitute at the X and Z receiver spots. Think about it. Matt Landers, Trey Blunt, Micaiah Tongue, 3 players that all played either X or Z on last year's roster, gone. See you. Okay, so Pickens, out. See you. ACL injury. Burton, not going to be available. Out. Knee injury. Marcus Rosemi Jack Saint, out. Not going to be available. Now, Justin Robinson most likely not going to be available. Per my count, that's 7 wide receivers that either played X or Z that are not available Saturday for the scrimmage. Y'all better get Donnie Mitchell some oxygen on that sideline because my boy going to be working, okay, because he's about the only one. I would imagine you're going to see Kearis Jackson get some rep at X and Z because he's got some experience out there. Demetrius Robinson, same thing. You're going to see guys that in the fall will be playing slot receiver that are now having to play X and Z in the spring. So, guys, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you, if the offense looks stagnant, please do not go to your timeline and start freaking out. A really good front seven that they're playing tomorrow. We'll get to it a little bit in a second, or Saturday. And B, destitute in that wide receiver room, as you would expect with this many injuries and transfers. So hold your water, okay? Just calm down. If it don't look great to start, just be comfortable. JC, we will get to Q&A in about 10 minutes, so just hold on. We got some more fiery hot takes to get out. Some more storylines, right? Guys, I've heard nothing but great things out of camp about Carson Beck, right? Redshirt freshman quarterback out of Jacksonville, Florida, had a really, really quiet, I mean like spooky quiet freshman season. Didn't hear a whole lot out of him. Didn't hear a whole lot about him. Didn't hear a whole lot of, good or bad. Just a whole lot of quiet. Jalen Johnson's also a name to remember. Good call there, Ryan. But a really, really quiet freshman year. Now, offseason, can't do anything but hear good things about Carson Beck. When Brock Vandagriff signed to the University of Georgia in this 2021 class, followed, I think, a month or two later by Gunnar Stockton committing in that 2022 class, a lot of Georgia fans, kind of overlooked Beck. Heck, some of you even wrote him off. Some of you already just threw him into the NCAA transfer portal. Well, now he's 100% comfortable in this offense. He's always made good decisions when he knew where to go with the football. Now he always knows where to go with the football, and he's compounding that good decision-making on top of a really, really good athletic profile at 6'4", 225. Better athlete than you would imagine, stronger arm than you would imagine. Tight spiral, great accuracy, all the things to be a really, really good quarterback. He's played lights out this spring, and I'm excited to see whether or not he continues to look good on G-Day. Again, first public viewing of Carson Beck, period. I mean, all we've gotten to see of Carson Beck is downset hut, hear Dejon Edwards go run for 7 yards. That's all we've seen. I think he had one pass attempt last year, maybe not even a pass attempt last year, because in mop-up duty at Georgia, you don't get an opportunity to throw the football. You get an opportunity to say downset hut and hand the ball off. Hopefully that'll change in the future if you're a Georgia fan. I don't know if it will, but this is our first look and our first critical look at Carson Beck, and all signs point to him balling out on Saturday. And I hope he does, for that matter. And I will tell you this, that with a guy that's comfortable in the playbook and has been over-recruited twice now with Brock and Gunnar behind him, has a steady starter in JT Daniels that is going nowhere despite what happened Saturday. No matter what happened Saturday, JT Daniels is the starting quarterback, and for the most part, most fans believe that Brock Vandagriff and Gunnar Stockton are the future. Carson Beck's playing with house money, and I don't know if you know anything about backup quarterback play, but in a scrimmage setting like this, with a backup quarterback with absolutely nothing to lose playing with house money, that dude's dangerous, like real dangerous. Like, screw it, I'm throwing every ball, if you got an ounce of open space, I'm fitting the ball into a window. This dude, Carson, will either throw 4 or 5 touchdowns and look like a future Hall of Famer and Heisman Trophy candidate, or he'll have a meddling performance and people will be like, why did he throw that football? Well, he threw that football because he ain't got nothing to lose, baby. You ever watch Ryan Fitzpatrick play football? I hope that's the way Carson Beck plays football on Saturday. I hope he plays like his daggum hair's on fire and like he ain't got nothing to lose, because he doesn't. He has absolutely nothing to lose and everything to gain. If he plays really, and I tweeted about this today, if Carson Beck comes out tomorrow or Saturday and absolutely lights it up, Georgia fans will be telling me nothing for the entire offseason of 2021, but about how Carson Beck lit up that defense during G-Day in 2021. That's what they'll talk about. Leading up to the actual quarterback battle that's pending and dooming for January of 2022, that quarterback battle kind of starts Saturday, if you're really honest with yourself. You got a freshman that's kind of getting his feet wet in the playbook and a redshirt freshman that is comfortable in the playbook, but in fans' minds, because fan is short for fanatical, Carson Beck comes out and looks like a Heisman Trophy candidate or a future Heisman Trophy candidate, in every Georgia fan's mind, clear across the board, unless you got that much faith in who Brock Vandagriff is, or unless you're just a level-headed individual, you're going to think all 2022 that you've got your next starter. Oh, Carson Beck going to start for a year, blow it up, have great stats under Todd Monken, be a first-round draft pick, out of here. Brock Vandagriff 2023, we'll see. That's what you'll tell me, and that's okay. We can drive that narrative. That's fine if all these things happen. But Carson Beck, one we got to watch on Saturday, and we're going to get a lot of reps at him. I'm telling you, he's been taking the twos reps all spring and has looked really, really, really good. So I'm excited to see if it actually comes to fruition on Saturday, or if, sources have just been FOS this whole entire time. Let's hope it's not the latter. We're about to get to some Q&A. So give me 1 second. We got bold predictions left, and I only got 3 of them. My first one, I told you that one of these corners I thought was going to flash, and it's the freshman Nyland Green. Look, I've known Nyland for about a year and a half at this point, and I'll tell you, there's just something about these kind of guys, okay? They got this stardom quality about them. In 2021, that class, I felt like it was Nyland Green. In this 2022 class, I feel like it's Ja'Cory Brown from the state of Georgia, the quarterback committed to Miami. Just when they walk into the room, and it sounds cliche, but it is 100% true, especially around super talented individuals. When guys like Nyland Green walk into the room with this glorifying smile, he's just a guy, right? He's just the guy 9 times out of 10. And 9 times out of 10, the guy makes the play on the day at the moment he needs it. And I think that's what's going to happen Saturday. I think there's going to be a play, whether it's someone Nyland turning around and one hand sticking an interception, turning around and returning it for a large gain, or whether it's, him pirouetting and knocking down a ball, or whether it's just him having an all-around really solid day. Nyland Green's history and profile as a football player tells me that Saturday is his day. Okay. Spring camp was all good. He had a really good spring camp, according to sources, but G-Day's different, and this dude's different. We got a home run from Acuna to tie the game up. My dude has been on absolute fire, just like these takes. Acuna is just a little bit harder, or Acuna, as some Braves fans call him, apparently. Shout out Bryce Harper for, I forgot what that little squiggly over the end's called. It's called, I don't even going to try it, but I took Spanish 2 up to 3 in high school. Didn't learn any. ¿Cómo estás? I know how to ask, where's the bathroom? ¿Dónde el baño? That kind of stuff. But, yeah, don't know what the little squiggly over the end stands for. Way off topic. But that's my first bold prediction. I do think Nyland's going to ball out Saturday. A little intel. Sell you on the Patreon subscription. Here we go. I told the Patreon guys this tilde. Anyways, I told the Patreon subscribers this, I think 2 weeks ago. Kirby Smart does this really cool thing. He calls them evaluation days. Okay. And what they are is everyone in the building knows that, hey, today is Nyland Green's evaluation day. It's on the board. Today is Warren Erickson's evaluation day. It's on the board when you walk into the facility. But from what I've been told, these evaluation days, all they are is they script the entire practice to go after who they're evaluating that day. So if Nyland Green's evaluation day is upon us at practice, all they're going to do is throw go balls at him. All they're going to do is design routes to confuse him. All they're going to do is run the ball directly at him and make him prove to the coaching staff that, hey, I can do this. From what I was told, dude balled out, absolutely passed his evaluation day, which confirms what I'm telling you about the kid, what I know about the kid. Baller, 100% baller. Lights come on, the bigger, the brighter, the better. Nyland Green's going to play well on Saturday, in my opinion. That's my bold prediction, number 1. Number 2, this is kind of a quick one, but you know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to be on the call for SEC Network Plus. I don't know who's calling the game, who's calling G-Day, but I can guarantee you my bold prediction is that the very first time Brock Vandagriff breaks outside of the pocket and runs for about 25 yards before anybody touches him or tags him off and the referee blows the whistle, I guarantee you there's some type of reference of, bet you didn't see that coming. Which you probably should have seen it coming if you watched any of my film evaluations. I've told you, and for that matter, if you've been on the Patreon subscription, I told you what he did in the last 2 scrimmages, which was impress more with his legs than even his arm. He's going to run Saturday, maybe a lot. I mean, like a lot, because he's going to be in game mode. And if things break down, if he's not quite comfortable knowing where people are or what the full route tree is, what the full playbook is, then he's going to run. That's what he's going to revert to, and it's going to look really, really well. It's going to look really good. I've been told he's actually running away from interior defensive linemen, front seven defenders, which was the question we had about his evaluation coming out of high school. We knew he was a 4.6 runner, but you watch him against single A competition, it's like it's private single A ball. I would hope that you can run away from those guys. Now, turns out he's running away from SEC defenders. But that's not going to stop the announcer from, placating to the bet you're surprised. You shouldn't be. My last bold prediction is really not that bold, considering who we're talking about and considering my track record with this individual. But Jalen Carter, 4 sacks Saturday, easy. I don't think there's a single interior offensive lineman that can hold Jalen Carter's water at this point. Not a single one, especially with Jamari Sawyer expected to be limited on Saturday. I don't know how many guys can actually stand in front of Jalen, and block that guy. All right, those are our NBR topics for tonight. I got about 15, 20 minutes for live Q&A. So let's go ahead and hit some of these up. I see JC up in here earlier. You think Tyke Smith maybe start at the star position or cornerback? I actually have a video up on this right now on the YouTube channel. I believe it's called Tyke Smith Film Breakdown, something like that. Something very, very simple. But no, he's going to start at star, I think. As much as I liked what Latavius Burnett did in the bowl game against Cincinnati, played lights out, right? In his first career start, played really, really well, covered fairly decently, and tackled really, really well in space against screens. They brought this guy into play. You bring All-Americans into play. This dude's going to play, and he's going to play star. Anybody telling you he's going to play corner, first of all, he's 5'10", 200 pounds, and might be a 4.58 runner. That ain't a Kirby Smart corner. I don't know if y'all been paying attention to the physical pedigree of what Georgia does at corner, but ain't a whole lot of 5'9", 5'10", 205 sitting in that room. Ain't a whole lot of them, right? Nyland Green, 6'2 1/4. Think about the class that just left. DJ Daniel, maybe 5'11", but he's got arms longer than, Deuteronomy. I mean, really, really long arms. I hope Deuteronomy's a long book in the Bible. I don't know my Bible like I should, but you get what I'm saying. It's got really long arms. Eric Stokes, 6 foot, long arms. Tyson Campbell, 6'1.5", long arms. These corners that Kirby Smart typically recruits and plays, they're long, lengthy, athletic, explosive individuals. Keely Ringo, 6'2", 205, looks nothing like Tyke Smith. You know who does look like Tyke Smith? Devod Wilson. Okay, a guy that Tyreek Stevenson to some extent, guys that he's recruited to play the star position, just like he's recruited Tyke Smith. It's funny. I was seeing all of the projections as far as where is Tyke Smith going to play. I text the source and just asked him straight up, it's like, Tyke Smith, where's he going to play at Georgia? And the question I got back was, what did he play at West Virginia? He played star at West Virginia, except for I think they called it something like Steam or something goofy. Definitely should have said Psalms. Good job there, Gucci. So no, I think he ends up playing star and playing early. So guys can pick up the system pretty quickly. I'm scrolling back up for questions at this point, guys. So go ahead and start getting the new ones in if you don't mind. Is Carson Beck or Mac Jones? Rob, I think this is a great comparison. This is one we've actually talked about in the Discord for a little while at this point. I mean, the comparison's perfect, right? You got an older guy above you that was a known starter in Jalen Hurts. Okay, JT Daniels is that guy here at Georgia. You got a guy that you've been over-recruited at the position behind you in Brock Vandagriff, and you got another guy behind him, and Brock Vandagriff would be their version of Tua Tagovailoa, sorry. And even further, the next class behind you, Georgia signs Gunnar Stockton, Alabama signed Bryce Young. It is a very, very solid comparison in terms of what they're doing or how it stacks up career-wise. The only thing is, I'll say this. I know that Mac Jones was extremely patient and willingly patient there at Alabama. I don't know if that's how Carson Beck's built. And I don't say that to insinuate that he's the other kind of guy. He's the, I didn't win, so I transfer guy, because he's clearly not. Dude's busted his ass to get where he is this spring. So he's clearly not that type of guy. But he's also, I don't know for a fact that he is a, I didn't win, let me stick around till I do type of guy. Most guys aren't built like that. In the history of what we got going on at the quarterback position in college football, most guys aren't that guy. So it's hard to predict or hard to sit here and say maybe he is that guy. But situationally, right, with what they've got going on in front of him and behind him at the quarterback position, 100% Carson Beck is your version of what Mac Jones looked like at Georgia, right? A taller, longer, skinnier, maybe questionably athletic quarterback that's his future and pedigree at the position is based off decision-making, timing, and accuracy. Yeah, they're identical individuals. So there we go. Thoughts on Channing Tyndall? Man, I think Channing Tyndall is the fastest linebacker in the room at Georgia. And I think, we talk a lot about who's going to win this position battle, right? Because one of the position battles is the linebacker position. It's one that I kind of skipped over because I think it's kind of a moot point at this point. Nakobe Dean's going to win one of those two spots. We know that. He will be back this fall, and he's going to start at Mike linebacker. He's going to run that entire defense. So you got one not coming off the field, which leaves guys like Rian Davis, Quay Walker, Channing Tyndall battling for one spot. And pedigree, in terms of the history of what Georgia's been doing rotation-wise at that position, would lead you to believe that Quay Walker and Channing Tyndall have the leg up on Rian Davis. Okay, Rian's had a great spring from all accounts, but Quay Walker won that role last year. I think Quay Walker is going to win that role again this year. The good thing for Channing is, historically, again, rotations say that Georgia starts two linebackers, they play three. No more than three in a down-in, down-out basis, not a blowout situation. In a blowout situation, they may play 4 or 5 in that football game. But tight game, down to the wire, Georgia plays three linebackers. Those three linebackers next year will be, no questions about it, barring injury, Nakobe Dean, Quay Walker, Channing Tyndall in that order. Ryan Davis, Smile Mondon, Xavier Sori, after those guys will rotate. They'll find playing time for those dudes. So that's kind of what you're looking at linebacker-wise. As far as what I think as an evaluation of Channing, again, I already told you, I think he's extremely fast, and I think he provides a level of pass rushing that Georgia desperately needs on third down. So I think you could see him added onto the field as that Roquan Smith-esque type of blitzing linebacker where they walk up everybody up in the A-gap and just let them eat. I think Channing has an ability, and he's shown it on tape over the years, to win in those positions. He can get home. He can make sacks in those positions. Thoughts on Brock Bowers and Darnell having a big season? Okay, first of all, they're going to be used in two totally different roles, okay? And I do think towards the middle of the year, last year at this time, I was telling you that at the end of the year, Kendall Milton would be getting a main feature role in this offense as running back 1B. He ended up doing that. He just got hurt. My prediction moving into this year is that I like Ryan Fitzpatrick as much as the next guy. But when Georgia needs to get things done, when Georgia needs explosive plays, if they're in 12 personnel, it will be Darnell Washington at Y and Brock Bowers at H. It's what it will be. Last year when you saw him go 12 personnel, it was Darnell Washington with his hand in the dirt, John Fitzpatrick lined up directly behind him or on the other side in an H-back, or as we call it, a sniffer position. Okay, this year, I think it's by the middle of the season, it's going to be Brock Bowers. He's just too good of a football player to keep off of this field. Okay, when I hear stories about Todd Monken drawing up screen passes for his tight end in spring practice, his freshman tight end at that point, he's planning to use that dude this fall. I've seen or heard of, I shouldn't say seen, I've heard of some intricate screen game additions that Georgia's added, and I guarantee you're going to see a couple of them this Saturday, specifically Tripp's Bunch. Look out for Tripp's Bunch on Saturday. How many carries does Kendall get at G-Day? I think it's 15 to 16 maybe carries, something like that. Not going to overload that running back room. They're going to bounce those carries around. Out of 60, 70, if they take 60 snaps, I would venture to say they run the ball, maybe 30 of those directly down the middle. I would imagine Kirby's that type of guy. He's like, hey, just make it balanced because Alabama's watching this really, really closely. Let's be basic. Let's be vanilla. Let's not show them anything. Let's really only give them like 60 clips because they're going to watch this like we're going to watch this kind of thing. So don't expect him to be really, really, eccentric, okay? And don't expect big guys like Kendall to be getting a ton of work, but he's going to get a lot of work. Like I said, 15 to 20 carries, which is much more. Thank you. Ryan has said like Ryan. I needed that one. I've been going back and forth between Rian and Ryan since we've been here. Who is the first sub at OLB for either Nolan or Adam? I want to say it's MJ Sherman, but It very well may be Chaz Chambliss. A name that's kind of fallen by the wayside is Robert Beal. That's okay. It's all right. He's been there for a long time, a really long time. I was checking the roster the other day. I think he was on that 2017 roster. So he's been there a while. Definitely on the 2018 roster. Robert Beal has been there for a fat minute, and will get occasional playing time. But I think when you're thinking about ones and twos at Jack and Sam, I think the ones group you're looking at, Nolan Smith at Jack, Adam Anderson at Sam, / star, whatever you want to call it, Kirby. And then the other one, the twos group, would be Mikael Sherman at Jack and Chaz Chambliss at Sam, kind of rotating between the two. I think both of them can play Jack and Sam. Neither one of them are absolutely gifted at one over the other. So I think that's kind of the situation there. So any info on how Kendall Milton's looking this spring? The thing I keep hearing about is how much better he's getting in pass pro, which is a major thing for Kirby Smart. If you've listened to Kirby talk about running backs over the past couple of years, it's been all about can they protect? Can they protect? Well, my favorite, and this is a little behind the curtain here, my first ever in-person Kirby Smart press conference, it was after Murray State, right? Zamir White's second game. This was coming back home in 2019 from Vanderbilt. They're playing Murray State in the home opener. And after the game, I can't remember who it was, but somebody asked him about Zamir White's long run or whatever. And Kirby did his normal Kirby thing with the media where he goes, well, see, everybody wants to come in here and talk about running backs and their box scores and touchdowns and long runs because that's what you guys see. And I know y'all don't know the game, so that's what y'all see. I expect that from y'all, but nobody's going to ask me about that blitz pickup that Zamir White had an A-gap, took a linebacker's head off. I'm not going to lie. I noticed it, but I was new to the situation, so it's nice and easy for me to sit back here and say, oh, yeah, coach, I noticed it. I saw it. I didn't ask a question. I think I asked a question that day, actually. It was about Trayvon Walker playing special teams. I think Kirby liked it because, he gets off the special teams. But, he does look – back to the question, I'm sorry. He has looked really good this spring. Where did we even go there? I got way off topic. That's what I was saying about pass protection. His pass protection has gotten much better. And, again, based off of if you've ever listened to Kirby in postgame or pregame or any type of press conference, he cares about his running backs protecting his quarterbacks. So there you go. I've been hearing good things about Justin Robinson. How well do you think he looks on G-Day? We talked about this earlier in the show, JC. I think he's going to be limited, if limited at all. I don't know if he's going to participate at all. Sounded like he got banged up. Will Monken scheme up more tight end plays this year? Common misconception here from Mike. Not your fault, Mike. You probably – I don't know how much of my content you absorb, but I've laid this out all year. Todd Monken's been trying to hit tight ends. Been trying to hit them. There's 2 or 3 plays against Cincinnati I could show you. There's a play against Arkansas, first series of the game. They run a deep over for Darnell. It's just not hit by Stetson. JT Daniels missed him on a wide open seam shot. You know that play where they fake the toss sweep into the boundary and then send 2 verticals from the both tight ends? Yeah. Well, he had Darnell Washington wide butt open. Second or third series of the game against Cincinnati, didn't hit him. So I tell you that they've been drawing up plays. He's been trying to get the tight end active, just can't get it hit. Sometimes you just can't get it hit. Now, will they make a much more concerted effort to get them the football and get them targets? Yes, they have to, because George is out now, right? So you have to find more ways to get more people involved. There's 80 to 100 targets out there to be occupied. Who's going to occupy them? I think Darnell and Brock could probably split about 40 if you really maxed it out, about 40 of those 80 intended targets. If you leave the season with Darnell Washington having 25 catches and Brock Bowers having 20 catches, you solve all your preconceived notions about Georgia not using the tight end. You know who's not worried about whether or not Georgia uses their tight ends? Darnell Washington, 2020, 5-star tight end commit. Brock Bowers, best tight end available in 2021. Fight me. I don't care what rankings. Fight me. Brock Bowers, best tight end in 2021. 2022, they got a pretty good shot at, again, fight me, the best tight end in the country in Oscar Delp. And in 2023, again, fight me, Pierce Sperlin, really, really good tight end, probably going to wind up being one of the best, if not the top tight end in the country. So for all this, Georgia don't use the tight ends bullcrap. They're recruiting the position as good, if not better, than anybody else in the country. So the tight end sure as hell ain't worried about it. I don't know why everybody else is. Everybody else seems to be. Everybody else knows, I guess, more than the recruits themselves do. How many sacks TFL will Adam Anderson have on Saturday? Let's give him 2.5. Brooks, what are your numbers expectations for Daniels this season? I've already said it. I don't see any reason why he doesn't throw more than 4,000 yards. I think we did the numbers. He averaged 310 yards per 300, just under 300 yards per game last year. 300 times 12 is 3,600 yards. So there's that. He's going to play at least a bowl game. So if he stays on pace, that's 3,900 yards. Let's say he plays an SEC championship game and 2 playoff games, you're looking at 4,200 yards. He's going to throw for a lot. So I'd say 4,000 plus yards, maybe over, right around 30 touchdowns, maybe a little bit north of that. And I'm going to say 9 interceptions. He's going to turn the ball over this year, guys. So y'all just go ahead and get ready for that one. We're going to run more zone plays with the O-line guys we got now. I think you're actually going to mix in a lot more pin and pull, a lot more outside zone type stuff, get on the edge every once in a while, stop playing this I got to bang my head against the wall type of SEC offensive line play. It's outdated, it's old, and it is grimy. They need to get rid of it. Alabama has the best offensive line perennially year in, year out than anybody else in the country. And you know what they don't do? They don't line up every single play and run inside zone. They don't line up every single play and say, hey, our offensive line is better than your defensive line, even though it is. Okay, that's not what they do. They run pin and pull. They run stretch zone. They run split zone. They run insert zone. They run counter. They run power. They run tray counter. They run halfback counter. They run every damn offensive running play and play design you could possibly imagine. They don't just line up and run inside zone. The good teams don't. So I think Georgia's going to be a good team this year and a well-coached team this year. I shouldn't say good teams don't. I should say great coach teams don't. I think Georgia's going to be a really well-coached football team this year. So, no, I don't think they're just going to line up and run inside zone. If they couldn't just line up and run inside zone with Andrew Thomas at left tackle, Solomon McKinley at left guard, Trey Hill at center, Ben Cleveland at right guard, and Isaiah Wilson at right tackle in 2019, I don't know what in the heck makes anybody think they're going to be able to do it this year. Okay, or the year after that, or the year after that, or the year after that. If you can't bully ball folks with those 5 guys, then it can't be done. And that's kind of the whole point, right? It's kind of the whole point of me telling you that Alabama don't line up and do the ignorant stuff like that. So Georgia definitely should. This is a Discord joke. Chaz stares at Kirby and gets automatic playing time. Chaz is a beast. Seeing this guy play in person, stud, absolutely. Everybody's been talking about defense, receivers, and Daniels. How's that O-line looking? Iffy. I'll be honest with you, but it's mostly because Jamari's been kind of touch and go all spring, leaving Tate Ratledge in there. And Tate's a good football player. Got a long way to go, though, in terms of speed of the game, playing faster, and learning the playbook. Those are very, very important characteristics of a good offensive lineman. So those are the things I'm looking for in Tate. Outside of that, everyone's kind of been average. Xavier Truss, Broderick Jones, according to the people that I talked to, really, really struggled with speed rush on Saturday, last Saturday and the Saturday before, which, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, coming out of high school, the one thing I could have told you never would have happened was Broderick Jones getting beat on a speed rush. To hear that he's getting beat on speed rushes on an SEC field scares me because it tells me, A, I've seen pictures of him. He has put on considerable amount of weight. It appears to be weight they wanted him to put on. But I wonder, I'm not going to say I question, I wonder how well he's accustomed to that new weight that he's carrying. Because, again, we're talking about a guy who 2.5 years ago was playing defensive end and tight end for Lithonia High School in DeKalb County at 275 pounds, soaking wet. Flash forward 24 months, okay? He's 24 months older at like 19 and a half years old. He's now ballooned up to about 315, maybe 320 pounds. So we're talking 40, 45 pounds. He's added on maybe 50 if you really want to take it to the most extreme levels of this. Gained 50 pounds and is now playing tackle in the SEC. So it's a little bit of a transition phase, right? So we'll see what he's got going on out there at tackle. Apart from that offensive line, they're a Georgia offensive line filled with talent. They're kind of getting pushed around right now, but that's because that defense line is elite. I mean, Jalen Walker, Jordan Davis, Trayvon Walker, Devontae Wyatt, they're going to jack your butt up a lot of plays. They're going to wreck a lot of plays. Will Carson Beck be the starter for the twos? Abso-friggin-lutely. What's the word on Jalen Johnson? I shouldn't say abso-friggin-lutely. Kirby might do that thing where he runs Stetson Bennett out there just for the show of things, but Carson Beck's been getting twos reps all camp. I don't know why things would change on Saturday, again, except for optics, just for Kirby to control a narrative. I'm telling you right now, Carson Beck has been the number 2 quarterback all spring. Whether that changes on Saturday, again, because of Kirby's optics, that's not on me. I'm just telling you what's on me is that Carson Beck is the second string quarterback per rep share right now in practice. That's all I can do. I can just tell you what's going on. I can't predict Kirby Smart because that's a losing proposition. I just wonder, does it come off like I dislike the guy sometimes? Because I enjoy. I wouldn't cover this beat like I do. I wouldn't watch as much film as I do if I didn't enjoy what Kirby Smart does with that program. It's why I preface everything saying I would run my program the same exact way. So don't be that guy out here. Heck yeah, I want somebody to fight me. Bring that on. Another cornerback in the portal. Yeah, you haven't picked up a corner in the portal yet. You picked up a safety, a star in the portal. Sorry to be a technicalities with you, but yeah, I think you're still active at corner. The only problem, or in the portal, the only problem at Georgia is that when you're talking about burning a scholarship for the 2022 recruiting class, which is what's happening, Tyke Smith's scholarship goes on to 2022. So that's how that works. In order to do that, the Georgia staff has to feel that whoever they're bringing in isn't what they call an impact player on the roster. And guys, you can spend as much time as I do looking up and down that transfer portal. Apart from Tyke Smith, there is not a single impact player in that roster right now, or in that portal right now for Georgia's roster. Okay. The only one in there that was able to come in and make an impact on Georgia's roster right now is Tyke Smith, and they've gotten him. Outside of that, there's not one. There is not a corner right now in the portal that I firmly believe could walk onto Georgia's campus and play in August. And if that's not there, there's no point in just going and adding somebody because you're adding somebody. Think about what Georgia's done in the portal over the last couple of years. Lawrence Cager absolutely had to have him. Eli Wolf didn't have a tight end leading into that year that was experienced very much other than Charlie Warner. Had to have him in an offense that based 12 personnel. Had to have Eli Wolf. This year, had to have Tyke Smith. And I forgot last year, you needed Trey McKitty, you needed Jamie Newman, and you needed JT Daniels. It is a need-based operation when it comes to the portal for Georgia, as it should be. If you are not a good enough football player to impact their roster right now, then you ain't coming. You know why this one's here. He's talking about Kendrick, the kid from De'Aaron Kendrick, the kid from Clemson. I don't know, man. I don't know. Georgia's history, Kirby Smart's history is they ain't really out here touching guys that are fighting off gun charges. Okay, even if he was asleep in his girlfriend's driveway with a Glock in his lap. I keep that thing on me, boy. Who wins in a fight? Darnell Washington or Jordan Davis? Jordan Davis, not even a question. I don't care about reach. Give me the big fella every time. Jordan got a nasty streak in it too. Not a secret Alabama fan. You just know their fan base sucks. That's funny. All right. I'm going to call it tonight. It's 10:05. We had a great show tonight. I think it was a good one. I enjoy doing Q&A. I feel like it's when I'm at some of my best work. I'm off the cuff, which can be dangerous at times, but I enjoy it. It's fun. So we might do these a little bit more often. We might finish all of our MBR sessions with a little live Q&A. If you guys enjoy it, I'll continue to do it. How big are Beck's hands? Here we go. We're getting the classic Discord stuff going on right now. Speaking of classic Discord stuff, before you go, all of you people, I'm looking at all of you right now, all of you people, you have to hit the thumbs up before you leave this video. So don't leave yet. Hit the thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you're already here. And as well, run over to patreon.com/Brooks Austin. The link is in the show notes. And subscribe to our OG subscription over there and join that Discord, man. We got a great family environment over there, as you saw for tonight. I've got 3 free OG memberships. Hit me up in the DMs. Slide in my DMs right quick, all right? We'll see you guys later. Appreciate y'all. Oh, Brooks avoiding DJ's question. Hold on. Let me get Dan's question. Dan, ask your question again. Here we go. Oh, my bad. Is there a hidden gem on this team that's about to explode? Hidden gem about to explode. Nobody's really hidden. Not the way I cover them. But let's go Smile Mondon. Okay, not a hidden gem. Again, not a hidden gem. Not a name we talk about a lot. he'll light somebody up on Saturday. He going to catch somebody lacking. I'm telling you right now. He's going to catch somebody lacking and light somebody up. So there you go, Dan. Appreciate you, brother. Dan Kiley, the OG of OGs in there. Actually, that's Jeremiah 1. Either way, we'll see you guys later. Brooks Austin, the film guy. We'll see y'all.